Hey, this is the Budman, and you're listening to Central Florida Real Estate Radio on News Radio WFLA Orlando. Now to our studio and your host, local real estate expert and my friend, Laura Peterson.
Good morning, everybody. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I wanted to go over the stats, as I always do when I'm starting out here. And last week, there were 428 homes sold, and that's from during the week of October 15th, and it was 356 the week before, so that's up quite a bit, obviously. The median price is $420, which I believe it was $425 last week, so it was still in that same range when we're only looking at a week. We don't have a whole lot of things that are kind of going on with it that we can definitely tell if there's any kind of a trend. So we've been sticking at this same place really for about the last 18 months or so. So that shows just that our market is very stable. Of the 428, 43 of them were under 250, 30 between 250 and 300, 113 between 300 and 400, 82 between 400 and 500, 141 between 500 and a million, and 19 of them were over a million. So when you're looking at the months of inventory based on this week's sales, we're at 2.8. It's at 1.49 for under 250. Then it's right at 2 months all the way up to 400,000. Then we're at 3 months from 400,000 to a million, and we're at 6.7 months for over a million. So when we're looking at our ask to list price, again, we're going to have a little bit when we're under, basically is where we're at. So the final list as sale price overall was at 97.66. Under 250 was at 95.94. Then it was, between 250 and actually up to a million. It's all in the 98s, and the over a million, it's at 96.74. So when you're, and the other thing that is the average days on the market is 50. So 50 days on the market is kind of where we're at in single family homes. So basically the bottom line is it taking a little bit longer to sell them right now because there aren't as many buyers, and the inventory did go up again by another 136 in the homes. So it's sitting at 5187. But again, no signs of anything, falling or anything like that, which I know is what everybody's always looking for. So now when we're looking at the condos, townhomes, and villas, there were a total of 140 this week, which last week it was at 104. The median price is at 267.5. So 267.5 versus 420, so a little bit more room if you wanted to get a condo, that you've got the room on that. Basically, the inventory increased by 76, and they're at 2140. So how that shakes down then in the overall stats of everything, that basically of the 140, 58 of them that sold are under 250. There are 25 of them that are between 250 and 300, 28 between 300 and 400, 22 between 400 and 500, 7 between 500 and a million, and none of them over a million sold. There are actually 12 on the market over a million, so that's kind of what the scoop is there. When you're looking at the months of inventory, similar, a little bit higher, 3.53 months of inventory. And there's 2.59 under 250. Then it goes up to 4.77 between 300 and 400, back to 3.55 between 400 and 500. 8.21 between 500 and a million. So there's quite a few properties. There's 249 on the market, and only 7 sold last week. And then, of course, there were none of them that sold over a million. So there Average price to list ratio is at 96.76. Again, pretty close to what it was for the single family homes. Under 250 though, they went at 95.41, and the closest that they got was at 97.97, and that was in the $400,000 to $500,000 range. So that basically, comes down to what's going on in the stats. Very stable market, which we like to see. So it's good for buyers and for sellers. So from my opinion, that's really awesome. So if you're just joining us, you're listening to News Radio WFLA Orlando. I'm your host, Laura Peterson, your home sold guaranteed realty. This is Central Florida Real Estate Radio with you every Sunday at 8 a.m. If you want to reach us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So there was an article that just came out this week that was talking about where people are moving to and moving from. Basically, it's talking about the top 10 locations that people would be moving to. And so the good news is that Orlando is on the list, and this is just for the last quarter that they evaluated and everything. So in looking at that, and they're looking at the third quarter, which was over, obviously, September 30th is what we're looking at. And what they're saying is that there were 4,000 people that moved, new residents to Orlando in the third quarter. So if you look at that, that's 1,000 a month that are moving here. So that's good for everybody involved for sure. Wait a second. I said 4,000 a quarter. I mean, 1,000 a month, which basically it's $1,250 a month because it's only 3 months. So 4,000. Well, actually 1,333 or whatever coming in a month is what's happening with Orlando. And the number one place where they're coming from is New York State. So that's definitely good news for us that people are moving here. You can basically, and I think that's what's keeping our property values the way that they are, because they're not falling because we have new people coming in. And so that's just adding to our economy, which is always great. The number one city where people are moving to is Sacramento, California, and they have 4,800. Number two is Las Vegas at 4,500. Then you've got Orlando at 4,000. Actually, it says the origin is New York City, not just even New York. Number 4 is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Number 5 is Northport and Sarasota, and they've got 3,700 new people coming in in the quarter. Portland, Maine is next. Then Tampa at 3,400. Cape Coral had 3,300. Miami had 3,200. And then Salisbury, Maryland had 3,100. And those were people coming from Washington, D.C. So just kind of moving pretty quickly probably from them. But they said that the number of people moving around the country has changed a little bit. And the number one reason they're saying is the rising home prices, which, like I said, our prices are really stable, so they're not necessarily rising at this point. But the mortgage payments have doubled, and that's because the interest rates have gone up a little bit, and I'm going to talk about that in the next segment. And then the other reason that it slowed down a little bit is return to work policies. Everybody thought that they were going to be able to constantly work from home, and therefore they could live wherever they wanted to. But more and more companies are realizing that they definitely want the people to be in-house, and that with that they're a lot more getting a lot more efficiency and all of that kind of stuff. Now, there are definitely jobs out there that work from home works, but when you're working in a team environment and really need to get together with people and have that synergy and everything of working together, then definitely work from home does not work. And so a lot of people that had that situation, that was kind of, what their scoop was. So the good news is in the last quarter, we still had 4,000 new people moving to Orlando area. Basically, the predominant number of where they're coming from is New York City. So basically, actually, we like that because that keeps our economy going and everything that keeps our economy strong and the housing market strong and all that as well. So in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we'll talk to you after the break.
You're listening to Central Florida Real Estate Radio with local expert and my friend Laura Peterson. And now, here's Laura.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I was talking the last segment about the interest rates and how mortgage payments have doubled. So that's, obviously affordability becomes a really, really big thing when you're looking at real estate and what are you going to do and all of that kind of stuff. And I know that some sellers out there are thinking, oh my gosh, I've got such a great interest rate now, so why would I want to move and give that up? And so that's probably slowed down the market a little bit. But in that, what's happened is that our market is still really stable. I mean, we were so crazy busy and everything that houses would go in hours and everything when they go on the market. And so as a result of that, now things are a little bit different, that you're back to a normal market. Now, there are opportunities to sell your home really fast, though, and we have some great programs that we can do that with you and all of that. And so that's really exciting, in my opinion, that we're able to do that. And so that comes just, we have a multiple cash offer site, and I'll be giving you that in an upcoming segment later today in regards to where you can go and you can actually get multiple cash offers on your home. And, it comes up within a couple of minutes that you get most of them, but then there are additional ones that you get within the next 24 hours or so. So it just kind of starts there, and then it kind of, goes on from there. So it's actually, pretty exciting and everything when you're getting those multiple cash offers that you can sell your house right away. And then we have some other systems of how to get a lot of buyers and that kind of thing in your home at one particular time. And most of the time we can actually sell your house after having it on the market, people coming through it in an hour. So that's another thing that we have going as well. So, so basically, if you do need to sell, there are definitely ways that you can do it, that you can get the most dollar amount of money for it if you want to do that. Or if you want the convenience of not having anybody coming through it, not have to do any repairs, not have to declutter, not have to do any of those things, there are also those opportunities that you have out there as well. So with this market, there are so many things that are exciting, about that. And one of the things that I was doing this last week is that I was actually out there looking at new construction homes, with somebody. And basically the thing is that there are quite a few homes out there right now that are almost completed by the builders, and they have inventory homes now, which was, again, uncommon several months ago. And definitely 18 months ago, that did not exist. It was like 18 months before you could get your house built. But now if you want to choose everything, basically it comes down to that it's probably about a 6-month build or 90 days or somewhere in there. But there are quite a few inventory homes out there. And with those inventory homes come great perks. And basically, in some of these homes that I was looking at the other day, they were right around $300,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. But the great thing about that is if you use their preferred lender, which is what you had to do, that basically you were able to get an interest rate in at 4.99 on some of them, 5.99 on others. And so with the interest rates kind of hanging out there at, 7 plus, basically there are definite opportunities out there for you to be able to get an exact, the exact home that you want, a brand new home on top of it, and get it for a reasonable price with a great interest rate. Now, at one of the builders that I was at that was offering the 4.99, this one particular house, was 4.99, and then there was the exact same model, and they had that one at 5.99. So they're buying down the interest rate, obviously, in doing that. And the one at 5.99 was actually at 302. The one that was at 4.99 was at 312, at 312,000. And I said to the lady, oh, well, I think these guys might want to, hang closer to that, to the lower priced one, because that's what they had told me they wanted. And she said, well, the one that's a higher price, when you figure out the monthly payment, it's actually $200 cheaper than the one that was listed for less money. So how interesting is that, right? So that's just how much effect the interest rate actually has on there. So on that $300,000 house, if you were doing it on an FHA mortgage, which is what they were offering, then that actually came out to being $200 a month less, with 1 point difference in the interest rate. So you can see how the interest rates definitely affect, the amount that you're going to be paying and the amount that you can afford and all of that when it comes to purchasing a home. So if you're just joining us, you're listening to News Radio WFLA Orlando. I'm your host, Laura Peterson, your home sold guaranteed realty. This is Central Florida Real Estate Radio, with you every Sunday at 8 a.m. If you'd like to reach us at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So my point is basically that I was talking about the new homes and the amount and everything that you're going to be paying on a monthly basis. Basically, it comes down to that the builder is throwing money in there to buy down the interest rate to make it affordable, because they want to sell their houses. So when I'm talking to sellers, I'm like, hey, we need to do the same thing that these builders are doing, and we can actually, buy down the interest rate, for that buyer. And as a result of that, they're going to be able to afford the house. So if you're a buyer that we're working with, then we're going to the seller and we're actually asking for some closing costs from the seller to actually buy down that rate too. So if, when it comes to a different market, there's always different things that you need to do in order to optimally operate within that market. And that's just one of the things that we are doing today, is that we're looking at that interest rate and going, how can we make it less money for that buyer? And we have lenders that we work with that can definitely, get it so that you can buy down that interest rate. So even if you're working with somebody else and you would like to get a mortgage, that you can buy down the interest rate so you can buy that house that you want, we definitely have the options for you to do that. So, I'm all about solutions. Basically, if you listen to the show at any point in time, you'll know that. And it comes down to, what's going to work for everybody. I know that basically you can always refinance that house if you can afford that interest rate now, and you're not going to have the competition of a lot of other buyers going after that house. So you're going to be able to negotiate more on it. And, as we talked about in the first segment, in the higher end and the lower end, there's a lot more room to negotiate those prices. And basically it comes down to, what do we need to do to make it work? Because the rental rates and everything out there continue to increase. And so we're looking for the best way for someone to buy a home that makes sense for you, that's not going to put you in trouble, that's going to put you in the neighborhood that you want and the way that you want to be, where you want to be. And so there's all kinds of opportunity and everything out there in this market to make things work for you. And that's what we're all about. And so when it comes down to it, it, whether it's, finding a lender that will actually allow you to, get a cheaper interest rate so you can afford more, whether it is finding a seller that's going to give you closing costs that can buy down that interest rate, whether it's a brand new home that you're going to get that already they've negotiated that lower interest rate on there. And if you're paying cash, then heck, you can just go ahead and negotiate a lower payment right off the top. And if you're a seller, then you can also offer those same concessions that the builders are in order to get your house sold. So in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we'll see you after the break.
You're listening to Central Florida Real Estate Radio with local expert and my friend Laura Peterson. And now, here's Laura.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So as I've been talking about, there are lots of great opportunities out there for everybody when it comes to actually purchasing a home today. Like I mentioned, you can buy down interest rates so you can actually get it to where it's something that's affordable, or if you want to just keep it the way that it is right now, and then you can refinance a year or two down the road. There are also assumable loans that are out there today that people have an FHA loan on their home and maybe at a lower interest rate. And so a lot of times they blend the current rate with what that rate is. So that might be something that would be of value. The biggest thing, and sometimes they stick with that same interest rate, but the biggest thing that happens is that, say, when those people bought it, it was $350 and now it's worth $500. So you've got that $350 part of the loan covered, but then you've got to handle that other $150 if you've got it in cash, or if you're going to get a second mortgage on it that would be at that higher interest rate. So there's all kinds of ways to be creative out there. And I think that that's really what it takes in today's market, is that you need to look at all of the options and figure out what's right for you and what's going to work. And when you're looking at the prices that it comes down to for actually, paying rent, if that's your alternative, that's not always a good alternative, just because, you are pretty limited in regards to what you can do in the house. Number one. Number two, the prices are pretty exorbitant, and the list goes on and on and on from there. So there was one of the masterminds that I'm in this week that was actually looking at basically what the things that would come into play of why it would be a good reason to own a home. And so I thought I would go through some of those today. And the number one thing is stability and security. In today's market, most of the time you're actually getting a fixed financing loan that it's not going to vary with the market. And you can actually buy down the rate the whole term of the loan, which is what I was talking about earlier. So that's something that you can do. They actually have buy downs that are for maybe 5 years or 10 years or something like that. So if you know that you're only going to be there a short period of time, then that might be something that you might be interested in as well, which is less expensive than buying down the rate for the whole 30 years, obviously. Number two reason is personalization, that it allows you to make structural and design changes to reflect your personal style and needs. So you can customize the property to your liking, obviously. With home ownership comes community and roots. It fosters a sense of belonging to a community and provide a sense of roots and connections to neighbors and local institutions. I know that in my neighborhood, I think almost everybody has been there a long period of time, like probably at least about 10 years. And the people right next to me, they're relatively new to the neighborhood and they've been there 5 years. So, when you're in a stable neighborhood, they do kind of tend to keep the same people there. So you do develop relationships and all of that kind of stuff, with that. Next is family and stability. Many people choose to buy a home when starting or expanding their families. Owning a house can offer a stable and suitable environment for raising children. The next one we've got here is a sense of achievement, that owning a home is a significant life milestone for many, and it can bring a sense of accomplishment and pride. And pride of ownership, when everybody in the neighborhood owns, obviously is a huge thing as well. Long-term planning. Home ownership is often seen as a part of a long-term planning. It's an asset that can be passed down to future generations. Another thing is privacy. Owning a home typically provides more privacy than renting, as you don't have to worry about landlords or property management companies coming into your home on a consistent basis. You have more control. You have greater control over your living space, including decisions about maintenance, landscaping, and renovations. Pets and hobbies. Having a home can make it easier to accommodate pets and pursue hobbies or interests that may not be allowed in a rental property. So that's another thing that you've got. Community involvement. Homeowners often feel more invested in their communities and may be more likely to get involved in local initiatives and organizations. So another thing that makes it more stable for you. So if you're just joining us, you're listening to News Radio WFLA Orlando. I'm your host, Laura Peterson, your home sold guaranteed realty. This is Central Florida Real Estate Radio with you every Sunday at 8 a.m. If you want to reach us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I've been going over some reasons of why it might be a good idea for you to purchase a home and own your own home. And the next one that we have on our list is emotional attachment. Many homeowners develop a strong emotional attachment to their properties. It's where they create memories and build a sense of home. And I think that that's really true too, you know, for the longevity, for the things that you do there. And so it's really emotional well-being is definitely something that is usually associated with your home. Then there's predictable housing costs. Unlike renting, where rent prices can fluctuate, homeowners with fixed-rate mortgages have predictable housing costs, you know, year in and year out. And then with Florida, with having your with having your homestead, your taxes aren't going to change too much either. So really the only thing that can change in that is insurance, which we know that things are kind of going through the ringer on that, but basically they're coming down to being more reasonable and getting that figured out as well. Another reason that you might want to buy a home is for retirement planning. For some, owning a home is part of their retirement planning. It can provide a stable and affordable place to live in retirement, and there's freedom to make changes. Homeowners can make changes to their property without needing approval from a landlord, and this can include landscaping, building additions, and more. Now, sometimes, obviously, you need permits and permission from the HOA for some of those things outside. Then we have independence, that homeownership can provide a sense of independence as you're not dependent on your landlord's decisions or rules. And it's a legacy and inheritance. Owning a home allows you to build a legacy and potentially pass down the property to your heirs. And so, you know, those are just some of the reasons why it makes sense to own a home regardless. And the thing that's happening today in today's market is that because there aren't as many people going for the home as there were, a couple of years ago, you actually have the ability to get the home that you want. I know a couple of years ago when the market was actually in like a feeding frenzy, it was just like the sharks were coming to buy all the houses, which is kind of what was happening. And so as a regular buyer, you were having a really hard time getting your offer accepted and finding that home and everything. And, you know, if you can remember and listen to us way back then, we did have solutions for buyers at that point in time where you could put in a cash offer just like the other investors. And so you were able to get the homes of your dreams at that time too. But in that feeding frenzy, there were a lot of people that just settled for homes. So a house came on the market, they bid on it sight unseen, they got it, they took it because they were afraid they weren't going to be able to find anything else. And the studies that were done after that they actually found that I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 70% plus or minus a little bit were not happy with their home purchase and felt like they made the wrong decision. So today you don't have to do that. You can take your time. You can find the house of your dreams and actually find all of that stuff. And so it just makes it so much easier to do it that way, which makes sense and everything. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I own my own home, obviously, and I think it's a great thing for everybody else to do too. So in order to get in touch with us, you can call or text 407-566-2555. You can find us online at centralfloridarealestateradio.com, and we'll see you after the break.
You're listening to Central Florida Real Estate Radio with local expert and my friend Laura Peterson. And now, here's Laura.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and to discuss the sale of your home, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I mentioned earlier that there was a way that you could get multiple cash offers on your home. And basically, we have a new platform that we can do this on. There are over 60 people, cash buyers that are out there buying homes. So what happens is that you just put your information in here. There's no obligation to sell your home, but you can see what you're going to get and all of that kind of stuff. And basically, within a few minutes, you're actually going to get several offers. Now, that's not all of the offers that you're going to get, but you're going to get several offers right off the bat. And so those might not be the best ones. What we do is that we then go in and we're able to get more offers. You know, there's some of them that do it instantaneously, and then there's some of them that take, 24 hours or so. But the thing that we found that works really well is that we're able to get you multiple cash offers, on your home, not just one, but multiple offers. And then in addition to that, if for some reason the cash offer isn't really what you want, we're able to guarantee the price that you want. And if we can't get you that, then we pay you the difference. So it's really a great program. And, so that guaranteed price is something that's not in there in minutes. That's one of the things that takes a little bit more analysis and that kind of stuff. And, so anyway, it's a great alternative. And so basically, if you want to get that, then the name of that website it's Get Cash Offers on My Home. GetCashOffersOnYourHome.com. Let me make sure that that's right. I'm going to put that in my browser right now just to make sure, because obviously we know if you don't have the right one, then that's not going to come through. Okay, so it's Get Cash Offers on My Home right now. No, it's on your home. GetCashOffersOnYourHome.com. Gosh. So anyway, I'm so sorry. The GetCashOffersOnYourHome.com is basically what it is. And so basically, it's like I said, a free service, doesn't cost you anything to do it, but it's something that you can go ahead and, see what's going on and, what it is. And we feel long term, and so this is kind of the first step in getting that done, that as time goes on, it'll be kind of a situation where you'll be able to go on, push a button, and sell your home immediately. So this is getting close to that. Basically, when you're looking at all of the other industries and everything out there, it used to be that a lot of people sold their car from one person to another and all of that, and you don't find a lot of that going on. Even if you turn your car in when you're buying a new car at a dealership, they're generally not keeping that car on their lot. They're sending it to the auction, and they're picking the cars that they want to have, in their inventory, from the car auction as well. It's not necessarily the trade-ins that they're getting from people. So that's happening. And then there's all of these companies that are advertising all over that they'll deliver the car to your house and everything like that. So there's so many things that have changed basically in the car industry, which is another big ticket item, not as big ticket as the house, but the house is going in that direction as well. So we're always on the the forefront of whatever we can be, and so that's basically where our cash offers are coming from, at this particular point in time. So again, it's get cash offers on yourhome.com if you'd like to do that. And if you don't want to, it's no big deal. There's no obligation, no fee or anything like that, but something that you could definitely do if you want to. So if you're just joining us, you're listening to News Radio WFLA Orlando. I'm your host, Laura Peterson, your home sold guaranteed realty. This is Central Florida Real Estate Radio with you every Sunday at 8 o'clock. Remember, if you'd like to reach us at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, you can call or text 407-566-2555. That's 407-566-2555. So I'm coming to the time in our show where I'm going to be talking about our house of the week and everything. And on first glance, this house might seem like it's overpriced. And it's basically a vacation rental business, and so it's priced appropriately, not just for the house, but for the business as well. So this owner actually has purchased the home, a couple of years ago, and they put a lot into it to make it so that it was a very highly booked, predominantly Airbnb vacation rental by owner home. And with the purchase of this property also comes all of the websites, comes all of the bookings that are in place and everything like that goes along with it. So this actually is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath place. Now, the beauty of it, that it does come, it's in a gated community. It's right off of 192. And so it's, pretty close to the whole Disney area. It's probably within 2 or 3 miles of Disney. I don't know exactly how many, but pretty close to that. It does have a whole, hot tub and pool that are included in this, and everything is completely private around it. It actually has like a wall around the pool with screens above the top, so you've got that going. But the other thing is that in the main house per se, you've actually got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath units in there, and then it has like a lockout area that has a 1-bedroom, 1-bath in there. So you could rent it out all together, or you could rent it out separately and that kind of stuff through Airbnb. So the reason that this property, like I said, is priced a little bit higher is because even at this price point of $785,000, they've got a 12 to 13% return on investment, on this property. And so that's really what's driving the price of it and everything, because like I said, it is a turnkey business where it's got bookings in place. They've got the proof of what they've brought in this year, and then they've got the bookings that are in place for the rest of 2023 and also for 2024. And so if you're looking for a going concern business, this is a house that you could have as a house, but really it's in an area that allows short-term rental. There's only about 25 properties that are within the gate of this community, so it's a pretty small community. It's not man-gated, but it's got a code that you can get into. Like I said, it's right off of 192, and so you can get very easily to all of the parks. It's very close to 429, so you could get anywhere else that you would like to get as well. Basically, so it's just a great opportunity if you're looking for a going concern that's going. The current owner does manage the bookings and everything himself, but they've got a company that comes in, obviously, and cleans after, each of the people and that kind of stuff. But it's a great return on investment at 12 to 13%, give or take somewhere around there. So it's just a great opportunity if that's something that you're looking for. So again, the price on that is $785,000. And so if that's something that you're interested in, please give us a call. And I am out of time as usual. So it's been great talking to you this week as usual. I'll be back next week. And in order to get in touch with us at CentralFloridaRealEstateRadio.com or call us or text us at 407-566-2555, and we'll see you next week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.